Court of Appeals keeps overturning our cases. And even those cases that we get by the Court of Appeals and Supreme Court, the Supreme Court sends them back to us, and they're changing the law constantly. I know that this is not the year we have to worry about the governor or about the Attorney General, but the Attorney General has been probably the worst Attorney General in the history of the country. Josh Stein has basically entered into all these friendly lawsuits. He's been filing these lawsuits with the Southern Poverty Law Group in federal court, and then he's settling the lawsuits and basically giving up. He let 10,000 prisoners out of jail last year under the auspices of COVID. They're using early release in order to send people home under the mandatory sentences and send them to the house. They've got a lawsuit right now that's in front of the federal court where they're suing the district attorneys for us not to be able to enforce convicted felons being able to vote in the next election. And I have a feeling before this year is out, before the midterms, they're going to settle that lawsuit and try to get convicted felons to vote in the lawsuit. So I'm telling you, there's never been a more important time for people to be concerned about what's going on and making sure we get a super majority and making sure, as Michael Watley said, that we're able to block what the governor's doing, because the legislature can't block him right now. Every bill that they put up there, he is vetoing, and therefore they can't even pass a bill that would prevent him from being able to settle these friendly lawsuits. So you're going to see more of them coming before this is all over with, unless we get that super majority in the House and Senate. Lastly, I'd just like to say, you know, I'm very privileged to be in this job. I appreciate y'all's vote. A lot of people in here did a lot to support me. But there's 2,800 voters that didn't vote in the last election. They're Republicans here in this district. And they can be reached. A lot of them are in Rockfish in that area. They just won't turn out to vote because it's hopeless to them. They feel like it's hopeless. And 2,800 voters, we can reach them in a few months. That's not an impossibility. With a little bit of money, you could reach every one of them a few times if everybody will kind of chip in and do that. And I know with Danny being in this district now, Senator Britt, that'll help out because we'll get a little bit of money to get some mailers out. But we really have to reach those voters. And there's a lot of unaffiliated voters here that will vote for us if we can touch base with them and get them out.
Amen.
I thought I could do it.
A candidate for judge. We have Beth Tanner with us today. She's candidate for district court judge.
Everybody, I'm Beth Tanner. I'm running for district court judge. The district is 4 in Hoke County, so it covers both districts. I'm in the very blessed position that I am unopposed by a Republican primary, and I am apparently nice enough or scary enough that I'm also unopposed by a Democrat. That has been an excellent thing for me. So I will not be on your ballot in May because I am the Republican nominee, but I will be on your ballot in November along with Judge McSweeney, and we still want you to go bubble in our name. But the reason I want you to find Beth Tanner, it's an easy name to remember, Beth Tanner, remember that again, Beth Tanner, is because I'm going to be where all the other judges will be, okay? So we talked a lot about the importance of judges and how great that is, but does anybody know where the judges are on the ballot? Yes, they are on the back. They are on the bottom, above the dog catcher or something like that. So I really would like to encourage you to start your voting on the back and the bottom of the ballot. Ballot drop-off is a major problem for judicial elections, and you've heard the importance of those elections. Tell your neighbors, tell your friends, do the hardest problems first. Those are on the back. Those people are on the back. And do that voting first, because everybody's going to flip to the front and vote for their state. District court is where families go. We've talked about how important the Constitution is. It's never going to be more important to you than when you are standing in court. And as much as I love the justices like Justice Newby on the Supreme Court, you will not go to Justice Newby to see him. You will come to me or Judge McSweeney. I'm a constitutional conservative. I believe it says what it says, not what we wish it to say. And I believe that folks like Danny Britt make the laws, and my job is to follow those in my courtroom. Okay? So, Beth Tanner, please vote. And also, please make sure you vote for all your judicial candidates. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you, Beth. One of the things that we do, the party does, is we hand out sample ballots at the polling places. And take a look at the back of that sample ballot. That's where you'll find the judicial races, and we will note who good conservative people are. So just take note of that. You'll know how to vote when the time comes. Warren McSweeney, His Honor Judge Warren McSweeney,
Judge.
currently a sitting circuit court judge.
Thank you, Beth. Good evening. My name is Warren McSweeney, and I am currently one of your district court judges. As Beth said, I'm in a very fortunate position that I don't have anybody running against me. I consider that something to say about me as a person, as a man, as a judge. But ladies and gentlemen, you've heard it time and time again, and I like to say when I speak to groups now, judges matter. And it's going to sound like a broken record, and as I sat here from everybody who's gotten up here before me, they've all said the right things. They've all said the same things. But instead of a broken record, ladies and gentlemen, the squeaky wheel gets the oil. The squeaky wheel is in Raleigh with the Court of Appeals and the Supreme Court.
Amen.
And you need to learn about, you need to study your conservative judges for both the Court of Appeals and the Supreme Court. We have got to take a majority back in the Supreme Court because, like we said, it's Senator Britt's job to make the laws. It's my job to apply the law to the facts of the case. It is not a judge's job to dictate, to legislate. They are judges. They are not legislatures. So, ladies and gentlemen, please do your research, look into, and vote for your good conservative judges for the Court of Appeals and the Supreme Court. Just a little bit about me. I'm going to brag my wife. My wife is from Hoke County. She is a Hoke County native. Went to Hoke County High. She works for Southern Pines Police Department. If anybody you know or knew Willett Bassett and his family, that's my father-in-law. I unfortunately never had the opportunity to meet him. He passed before I met him. But I love Hoke County. I have a lot of family here and friends. Mount Elam is my wife's home church, so we come back quite regularly. But I appreciate this opportunity. When I first started coming here about 4 years ago, we didn't need to open up and have people back there. We could sit over here. And this is amazing. Every year it gets bigger. Every meeting, more people show out. Every meeting, new faces come. And I just hope that increases. So again, Warren McSweeney, District Court Judge. Thank you.
Doorbell.
We have a couple candidates for Supreme Court, and one of those candidates could not make it tonight, April Wood, a candidate for the state Supreme Court. By the way, the state Supreme Court, up until last election, there are 7 members on the state Supreme Court. The last election, up until the last election, it was 6 Democrats, liberals, to 1 conservative. In the last election, we were able to get 3 seats. So now it's 4 Democrats and 3 Republicans. And to give you an idea how well that went, every judge that we had up, statewide judges that we had up for election last year, every one of them won. And we're right on the threshold of taking back the Supreme Court. So April Wood is not able to make it, but Mama Wood is there. And she will tell you.
Watch out. Watch that cord right there. Mama Wood.
Okay, my name is Taylor. Of course, Judge April Wood is my daughter, and I like to tell you she is a constitutional conservative. She was brought up in a Christian home, Bible-believing home, and ever since she's ran in 2002 for a district court judge, she has prayed about it. And she came up to me, she said, Lord, Mama, the Lord is leading me to go to the Supreme Court. And I've always told her, if the Lord leads you to do something and puts something on your heart, you go ahead and do it regardless. You just do what the Lord tells you to do. She lives in Lexington with her husband and 3 children. And she's running because we do need a majority on the Supreme Court. She has heard thousands upon thousands of cases, and thousands of people have appeared before her. She believes that you should go by the rule of law and rule according to what the law says, not according to who a person is. Homeless or millionaire, you treat them all the same. And another thing, she has been endorsed unanimously by the Conservative Coalition in North Carolina because they feel like that with her experience, 20 years experience as a district court judge and Court of Appeals judge, that she is the best candidate to take home the Democrats. Also, she believes, oh, I'm so nervous sometimes. I'm telling you, I'm just not a public speaker. But I believe that, we need good Christian people, and I say Christian people because our country was founded on God's word, and we need Christian people to stand up and put God first, treat everybody the same, and be fair to everyone, and uphold our Constitution. I mean, our Constitution is not a living document, and we need to put judges on the bench that would go by the Constitution, but most of all, I know I'm her mom, but I'm telling you, she cares about people, because every case she says, and she rules for any ruling on a case will affect somebody's life forever. And over the years, I have heard so many good stories. And some people, she said, they put me in jail, but she cares about me because afterwards, if they wanted to talk with her, she would sit down and talk with them because she does care about people. Is that my ding ding?
David, Abigail was going to go at the end of but the chairman needs her to go somewhere else.
Oh, all right.
So if she could
We have with us a representative from the Republican National Committee, and she is in the field office, the local field office for the Republican National Committee. Her name is Abigail Blue. This is Abigail, not Anna. Was that right? Amanda, yeah.
Amanda.
Yeah. So this is Abigail, the daughter, following mother's footsteps and organizing the world for the ladies in the Republican Party.
Thank you all very much. I apologize. I have a meeting I got to get to right after this, but it's very good to be here in Hoke County. This is a wonderful turnout. It's so good to see so many people from the community come in and actually support your local GOP. So give yourself a hand of applause. Many of you know me, some of you don't. I see a lot of new faces in the room. My name is Abigail Blue, and I'm currently working for the state Republican Party. I'm a regional field director. I oversee about 13 counties in the state, what was traditionally the 9th district. And my job is to just oversee those counties and make sure that they turn as red as they can here in 2022. It's a big job, but I'm just going to echo the words of what the chairman said. We can't win this state for Republicans up and down the ballot, from our judges to local county commissioners, congressional races. A lot of people don't know it, but we are the nation's top 4th Senate race in the country right now. So there's a lot of money being poured in by Democrats to fund their candidates for Senate. So we're a very important state, and it will not be done without, like the chairman was saying, grassroots effort, without registering folks to vote. He kind of touched on that, but a lot of people don't know that there are 400,000 more Democrats in the state registered to vote than Republicans. So we need to up that representation. Since President Trump lost in 2020, we've had a lot of Republicans kind of upset with the GOP. Many of them have switched over to unaffiliated. So one thing the GOP is doing to combat that is we're actually targeting voters at the doors. And that just means that based on their voting record, if they lean right, we got Republicans, the last 10 years, 5 years, 30 years, they were registered as Republican, and they've switched over to independent because they don't feel the election was fair. They don't feel like the GOP is doing enough. I came on with the state back in August of 2021, and one thing we did was we pulled up those voters in a database, and we actually have an app called Campaign Sidekick, and we actually went to their doors, and from August to December, we registered about 2,000 of those unaffiliated and brought them back over to the Republican Party. Some of those were Democrats. So, that was not staff, that was volunteers. We recruited about between 500 to 600 last year. So we're continuing to recruit people, and it starts in the community. It starts with people like you. So I won't take up any more time, but just ask that you become involved with the party, become involved with what we're trying to do. We're trying to win back this state. And man, we see what the Democrats have done to this country since Joe Biden's been president. And I talk to voters on a daily basis. People are really passionate about it. A lot of broken hearts right now. And but yeah, I just appreciate it, and thank you so much for allowing me to speak. Thank you.
We'd like to talk more with Abigail. She shows up at most of our meetings and our monthly meetings, and she'll be at the next one, and I'll talk about that a little bit later. We're gonna, let's see, I think I've covered all the Supreme Court, all the judges, have I not? Any judge candidates? Okay. Donna Stewart is with us today, and she's currently the vice chair of the 4th District. Where is that? 4th District, is that right? Yeah, 4th District in the GOP in the 4th District. And she has been moved into our district, the 9th District, and she would like to talk a little bit because she is interested in becoming the chairman of the 9th District Republican Party. And we welcome Donna Stewart.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here tonight. I appreciate it. Good to see all of you. As they were saying, it's a big turnout, and this is great. I am Donna Stewart. I'm a resident of Chatham County, and I've lived there for quite some time. I'm with my husband of 47 years. His name is Steve. My daughter and her family live there, and my son and his family live just over the northern border. So I've got 4 grandchildren, and they're all girls, so we're looking for a few good men. But life goes on. Here we are. My background, I have degrees in political science and urban planning, and I spent most of my life working in community development and analytics and planning. I've done this mostly with local government, all the way from cities to the state and the federal level. At the federal level, most of the work I've done has been through a university center, working with the departments of defense and state. I've worked and I've served as the president and a member of the Christian homeless shelter for almost 10 years, and I've also been a volunteer with the Red Cross on their disaster action team in Chatham County for 9 years. So I've gotten to know all the back roads. I'm very good. And politically, like many of you, I started out with Young Republicans and moved on to do a state senate race. I'd be coordinator for that. And after that, now I am a member of the Chapel Hill Women's Club. And that's a very big and very active group. And I've really enjoyed that. They work very hard. I'm the president and have been for about 8 years of the Farrington Republican Club, and I am the present director of election operations for Chatham County. And I am the vice chair of the 4th District, only they didn't like me there, or let's say the Supreme Court didn't. They kicked us out, all right? So I would like to run and be your chair of the 9th District, which we are all neighbors now. Yep. It's just turned out that way. And since I only have 2 minutes for my philosophy of life, I would just like to make one point before I leave the stage here, and that's about the importance of primaries. And we have 2 really big primaries coming up. At the district level, we're really concerned particularly about congressional candidates, of whom we have 1 here tonight, but there will be 4 in the primary, and the U.S. Senate candidates, whom we have about 17. Yeah. All right? Now, I just want to tell you a real quick story. Some of you may be old enough, like I am, to remember the days before the real primaries. And you went to a meeting, a county meeting, you elected some delegates, you went to the district meeting, you heard a couple people speak, your chairman came over to your group and says, okay, do you want to go review the rule or do you want to vote individually? And so you decide if your whole county was going to vote the same, or if you were each going to take your vote. Well, that's fine. Guess how many people selected the congressional candidate? Maybe 200, maybe 500, maybe 700. All right, now we have an open primary. Now, North Carolina started they passed the open primary law in 1915. And you go, oh wow, we're really sophisticated here. Well, the reason they did it was because the Democrats wanted to make sure that they got to pick the person that they wanted to run. Because, let's face it, the winners were Democrats until 1970. Okay? So now we have a primary, and it's important that we get out. And I'm going to read you one quick quote, if I don't drop it, from Mitch McConnell. And it says, it makes a difference who wins the primary. You have to evaluate electability. It matters who wins. If the Senate had one seat in Georgia, we wouldn't have the American Rescue Plan. We wouldn't be talking about reckless tax and spending. Okay, study your candidates. It's incumbent upon all of us to know who's running. There are in Hoke County, we have 22% elected Republicans and 34% unaffiliated. That means we have work to do. I'd like to be your district chair. Please vote for me. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Donna.
I'm going to look at the back of the room. They usually have something to tell me to do.
Look that way, because I'm rolling. We were good to go.
All right. Unfortunately, our candidate, let's see, we've got, the Senate candidate, Denny Britt, is with us.
Well, hey.
Danny, you got a few words to say. Danny previously represented Robeson. It's hard for me to say. Robeson, Scotland, and was it Columbus? Robeson, Columbus, okay. And now he's got Hoke and Robeson.
Scotland.
And Scotland.
The 3 counties. So, without any further ado, he's the incumbent, and here he is.
And he's ours.
How's everybody doing? I'm Danny Britt. I'm the state senator who represents Hoke, Scotland, and Robeson County after the next election. Currently, I represent Robeson and Columbus County. I've been serving in that position now for 3 terms. I chaired the Judiciary Committee, the Emergency Management Oversight Committee, the Transportation Committee, the Committee on Flood Mitigation and Resiliency. I also serve on the Healthcare Committee, Finance Committee, Commerce Committee, and the Insurance Committee. We also have some interim committees I serve on as well. A little bit about myself. I was born and raised down in Robeson County. I learned about hard work in the tobacco fields during the summer. I've got a mama that was a textile worker, a father that was a state employee. My wife is an educator. She's been in the 4th grade classroom teaching for about 16 years. Now she teaches testing curriculum at a charter school. We've got a child that's 9, a daughter Ansley, and a son that's 12. They get juggled back and forth between wrestling and dance and voice and soccer while I'm running around trying to campaign. I also run a law practice over in Robeson County. I was an assistant district attorney for about 5 years where I prosecuted violent crimes in Robeson County and drug cases. I've been in private practice there now since 2009. I'm also a member of the Army National Guard, and that's where I learned about service to begin with. I enlisted in the Army National Guard the day after my 17th birthday as a 19 Delta Cavalry Scout, E1 Private, currently serving the rank of Lieutenant Colonel at Special Operations Detachment attached to Fort Bragg, but still in North Carolina National Guard. I've deployed to Iraq, Afghanistan, and Kuwait. Again, in my 3rd term, looking forward to the new district and representing Hoke and Scotland County. Some of the things that Mr. Watley talked about, I want to go back to. Our state was in a lot of trouble whenever the Democrats were in control and we took over in 2010. When he talked about that number, that deficit that we had a $2.5 billion deficit in 2010. We now have paid that deficit off, have $4.2 billion in reserves, and have been able to raise the standard tax deduction, or the standard tax deduction, or a group of individuals who do not pay a tax up to $25,500 after this most recent budget. We've also decreased corporate income taxes, where there will be a 0% corporate income tax by the year 2030, and only a 3.9% state income tax after 2027. We've also, in the most recent budget, passed a bill that allows for military retirement not to be taxed by state income taxes, proving that we are the most military-friendly state of North Carolina, and also with the other franchise tax that we've done away with, and the corporate tax things that we've done. We're currently ranking with Forbes magazine #1 in the country place to do business. So I can talk a lot about what we've done, but we need to talk about what you can do, and what you can do is get out and volunteer for candidates as they're running for election in November. Your time does not cost you anything. Out for these candidates that are running for office. Reach out in your community, reach out in your Rolodex on your phone. Everybody has that ability to be able to get the right candidates in office. Electing the right judges, electing the right local leaders is what we need to do to move Hoke County forward. I appreciate your support and your vote in November 22, and thanks again for allowing me to be here and speak.
Senator, you're not facing anyone in the primary area.
I'm not facing anybody in the primary, but I do have someone who is a county commissioner over in Scotland County who has filed against me in the general election.
As a Democrat.
As a Democrat, very liberal Democrat.
There we go. Okay, also for state representative now, Melissa Swarbrick. She was here earlier. She sat right over there in that corner. I hope some of you had a chance to meet her. She is doing continuing education. She's working on a degree, another degree, and she had to go to class or be
Dissertation,
kicked out.
yeah, or be thrown out,
For a PhD.
Zoom.
So anyway, it's unfortunate she had to leave, but she did. The next speaker we welcome, this is really important to the county. I think most of you know the history of Sheriff Peterkin and his untimely death. He was a very popular sheriff, and no one ever ran against him. The Republicans now have somebody that not only can win, but I believe really will win by a landslide.
Amen.
And that's Stevie Joe. Stevie Joe is the candidate for sheriff of Hoke County.
I'm trying to get y'all home.
Or good evening. My name is Stevie Joe. I'm originally from Bloomington, North Carolina, born and raised there. I've been all over the state of North Carolina because I was a trooper at one time. But I want to give you a little bit of background and the reason why I'm on this path of being the sheriff of Hoke County. Back in 2017, July 27th, the exact day, I was in Little Rock, Arkansas, and I was training to be a federal police officer. I had an accident that morning. I don't know very much about what happened with the accident, but I woke up in ICU and I was in a coma for maybe about a week. Regina and my son flew down to North Carolina because they did not expect for me to live. However, when I had the accident, I remembered that I had died, literally died. And I stopped breathing when I talked to several people. They indicated to me that I stopped breathing from 7 minutes to 15 minutes. When I was taken to the University Hospital in Little Rock, Arkansas, after that week of waking up in ICU, I had a broken orbital bone in my face, but you can really not tell that I had a broken bone in my face, but I did. I had a large scar on the left side of my face over my eye. What I realized is that when I said that I died that day, I came back for a purpose.
Yes.
And the reason why I came back for a purpose is because I believe God had not given me what I was supposed to have had over the
That's all right.
time period.
We don't know what that is.
But like I said, I realized that God had more for me in store. And the reason why I say that is because when I came back to the living, that I believe that I came back to the living, I realized that when I died, everybody seemed so happy, and I would walk around and wave to everybody, but we would never make any verbal conversation. We would just smile and wave at each other. But again, when I came back to the realization of waking up out of that coma, it took me 5 months to get where I'm at today. 5 months. The first 3 months was down in Little Rock, Arkansas at the University of Arkansas Hospital. I learned how to talk again. I learned how to walk again. And once I began to take baby steps, every day I started getting stronger and stronger each day. I was told by my nurse that was in charge of me, they said, "Are you ready to go back to Fayetteville?" And I said, "Yes." And I flew back to Fayetteville, and I was admitted to the hospital here in Fayetteville, North Carolina. Stayed in that hospital in recovery for another 2 months, and then I was released. I was told that I would probably never be able to do this job again. But guess what? They were wrong.
Hey.
They were wrong. So nothing has ever come easy for me. I stand in front of you today, and I want you to understand that it's time for Goliath to fall. That came to me in a vision. I said, Goliath must fall. And the Goliath that we must fall is to take all these Democrats out of office.
Amen.
I am an instrument of my God. I am an instrument of what we need to do. Thank you.
What Stevie didn't tell you is that he has 40 years of law enforcement experience, 40 years. In state trooper, city police, lieutenant of city police, military police, I think, and so 40 years. So he knows what he's doing, and well respected in the community. His, and I don't want to speak ill of anyone, however, his opponent in the upcoming election is got 3 years as a reserve deputy. Reserve deputy. So that's his law enforcement experience. So we're behind you, Stevie Joe. We're really behind you. We're moving on now to, let's see if I something to break the. Oh yeah, the school board. We're not going to have the school board members speak tonight because first off, it would take too long, and it is a nonpartisan election. However, they're friends of the Republican Party, and I'd like to introduce them. And let's see, Ruben.
Come in, Ruben.
Ruben Castellon, running for school board, goes to all the meetings and well spoken. Comes to our meetings at monthly meetings. John Harry. He's been on the Board of Elections for us, running for commissioner, I think, some years back, didn't you, John? And Tony Cunningham. Tony, I'm sorry, I don't know much about you. What's your background?
My background is I'm a native of Hoke County. I was born and raised here. I left when I was 18 years old and went into the United States Army. I served 21 and a half years in the U.S. Army. And I've been married for the last almost 32 years to this young lady right here. And we raised 2 children in the Hoke County school system. That's just it in a nutshell.
Thank you. I have to apologize. The young lady that he said What am I missing?
What? You need to let them all speak.
Well, if you'd like,
Yeah.
just a second.
Just to be fair, just to be fair.
Anyone? Got it.
Good evening, I'm Ruben Castellon. I'm also a retired U.S. Army,
Yep.
First Sergeant Airborne Ranger. I have an MBA, I have a Master's of Science in Criminal Justice, 16 years law enforcement, and I'm currently an educator at Fayetteville Technical Community College. And right now, bottom line up front, our education system is not educating our children the way we want them to be educated. There's certain things that it should be our job, and certain things it should be their job. But they think that they're also the parents. And there's a lot more stuff. Hopefully we'll have another meeting. We can discuss more as to why we're really running as a team. And so we can take over 3 positions, and they got to go.
We will be having a monthly meeting. We'll have all the candidates from school board there. And John, you got a couple words to say? Okay, okay, good. I think everyone knows Johnny's been with us for a long time. And when you give him a microphone,
You will listen.
for a long time. Okay, let's move on now to county commissioners. And Johnny Boyles is first to speak. Johnny, a candidate for county commissioner. Let me explain a little bit about what's going on in the county commissioners race. Currently, there are 5 county commissioners who have filed, 5 people who filed for county commissioner to run as a Republican, which throws us into a primary. There are 3 seats open. This primary is the first Republican primary ever held in Hoke County. Some people may think that's bad, but the reverse of that is true. It shows that the Republican Party is becoming an outfit to be reckoned with, and it shows people are interested. Republicans, good conservatives, are interested in furthering the political scene here in Hoke County and changing the direction of Hoke County. So that being said, Johnny.
Thank you, Dave. Like Tony, I was born and raised here in Hoke County, and I'm proud to be a Hoke County. Go to church here in Raeford at the First Baptist Church, got baptized, ordained deacon, and real proud. Good church to go to if any of you looking for a church. I'm not a preacher, but I'm trying. I've been told by my friend and compadre, I wasn't going to do this, but I'm going to. Mr. Frank Crumpler right here is my best friend and compadre. And Mr. Frank told me I was on the level. And I said to myself, Mr. Frank, what do you mean by I'm on the level? He said, your bubble's in the middle. So I had to do that. I was born and raised here in Hoke County. My dad was a tobacco farmer, so I know what work is. I was his main employee. We got up before day and went to bed at dark 30. So it was a long day. We had a good time though out there farming. Farming in Hoke County back when I was younger, it was a lot of fun. And we worked with everybody. We had a good time. We got tobacco gum on our hands, and we'd go to the watermelon patch and bust the watermelon and wash our hands in the juice. And it was fun growing up like that. But I learned a lot about business over the years. I've been a cotton farmer for 40 years, and for about 20 years I've been dabbling in some real estate, doing some development. But as my community project, I helped start Stonewall Volunteer Fire Department out here at Dunderrick. If any of you know where Dunderrick is at.
How you say it?
And we did that 49 years ago in 1979.
Yeah.
And I was one of the founding fathers, and I'm still serving at the fire department.
Yeah.
I don't fight the fire, but I'm still out there. Right now I'm looking after the books out there mainly for them and helping with some training. My wife's name is Wanda. We make Raeford our home, and we love it here. Hoke County needs a change for the better, and I was convinced by a lot of people in Hoke County to run for county commissioner. I was kind of hoping somebody else would see the need and they would step up, because I was a little bit chicken to do this, to be honest. I just didn't know if I could do it. But I was asked by a lot of people to run, so I filed and I'm legal, I'm running. So y'all help me out, help me get the vote. That's what we're going to do if we're going to win, we're going to get the votes. And the only way we're going to get the votes is y'all help us get the people to the polls to vote. We got a primary on May the 17th, and then the first Tuesday, I reckon, in November, we're going to have the general. And the only way we're going to win it is to get y'all out to vote and get your families. I talked to a person today, we planned my class's 50th anniversary. They're a family that's strong in Hoke County, there's 40 or 50 of them, and they're all Democrats. And the one of them that was there at the meeting today, Jeff said, Johnny, my family's all going to vote for you. We want to change on that, commissioners, we want to change. And I told him, I said, well, we got 2 more that's running. So whoever those 3 are that win in this primary, please vote for all 3 of us so we can get a whole lot done. We can change Hoke County if we can get 3 county commissioners elected. So I beg you to get 3 of us. There's some things in Hoke County that some of us aren't going to be able to change. Y'all, has any of you been down Fayetteville Road and seen that great big swimming pool they're building? I'm telling you, that's one of the greatest things that ever come to Hoke County. And what is it they call it? Somebody help me. Aquatic Center. And they built it right on top of what was an irrigation hole. Well, in Matthew, whenever Hurricane Matthew come through here, it was standing in water. And Hurricane Matthew was 5, 6 years ago, and it was standing in water, but they're going to build a swimming pool there.
Didn't even wonder.
Well, whenever they built that swimming pool, they let everybody in the county think, don't worry about the money, we think that thing's paid for. Let me tell y'all something. They went and borrowed $45 million to build that swimming pool. We are in debt until the year 1952, paying for that swimming pool. 2052. Going backwards here. I was born in the 1900s, so that's most important. That's my youth. I get older, I can't forget. But anyway, we got a high school that needs to be built, but they're going to add on to the one here at Raeford. And we got to get $28 million to pay for that, plus a $50 million grant. And if my time runs out, let me know.
Which could be used.
I'm running out on this. Okay. But anyway, Hoke County's going to be deep in debt. There's nothing we can do about it. But this reevaluation that came to everybody's house, they haven't set the tax value that they're going to charge on us yet. But it's important that y'all let them know that you need to hold the line.
Amen.
Thank y'all. I'm Johnny Boyles. Thank you.
I'm going to do a little out of order work here. We have with us tonight Mike Andriani, who's a candidate for U.S. House of Representatives. And Mike, you want to step up and say a few words?
Amen.
I got to go 2 minutes.
159. 159.
I'd like to thank everyone here for the opportunity to speak with you all. I'm Mike Andriani, and I'm running for Congress for your voice in Washington, for District 9. District 9 consists of the counties consist of Randolph, Chatham, Lee, Moore, Hoke, Scotland, East Richmond, Northwest Cumberland, and Southwest Harnett. I'm pro-God, pro-life, and pro-Second Amendment. I support strong borders, election integrity, legal immigration, and energy independence. You've seen these gas prices, same as I have. I'm also anti-CRT, and I'm against medical tyranny. I come from a long history of family service to both this nation and its people.
Amen.
Mine is an Army family. I'm 4th generation Army. My grandfather fought against godless commies in Korea and Vietnam. And through your votes and support, I seek to pick up where he left off at, fighting commies.
Amen.
Unlike back then, though, they're not overseas anymore. They're right here. So I want to defend and advance liberty, and by fighting woke socialism and these communist agendas right here at home. For nearly a decade, after commissioning in the Army as an officer, twice I was deployed to the Middle East in support of Operations Enduring Freedom, Inherent Resolve, and Spartan Shield. I was a U.S. Army paratrooper, and as a captain, I served as a company commander in the Special Operations Command here at Bragg. I attended Virginia Military Institute under a 4-year Army scholarship, and I graduated with a degree in history, so I know well from the past what works and what doesn't. I also hold a master's degree in procurement and acquisition management, contracting, program management, so I know how to negotiate and see things through to completion on your behalf. As an Army officer, I took an oath to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States of America against all enemies, both foreign and domestic.
That wasn't you.
And through your votes, I seek to continue fulfilling that oath. So vote for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Just for the record, I have no idea what the source of that noise is. So.
This building is connected to a private residence. And they must be having a party.
They must be having a party. Hey, we're nearing the end of this here, and I think you should be happy. We've got three more candidates for county commissioner to hear from, and I'm one of them, and I'm going to keep mine shorter than short. So let's see. Next is Stephanie Carter. Stephanie Carter is running for county commissioner. And she lives out in the west part of the county, and she's got a Jeremiah Goodpaster is going to speak for her. She is ill tonight. She came up with laryngitis, and if you're a politician, that isn't very good, is it? So she came up with laryngitis. So Jeremiah is going to speak in her behalf for 2 minutes or less.
Or less.
First of all, Stephanie just want to say that she wished she could have been here with you, but God and her vocal cords had other plans for tonight. So Stephanie is a resident of Hoke County for the last 16 years. Her family owns a farm out towards the horse park out that side of town. She graduated from Appalachian State with a major in marketing. She returned back here to North Carolina, where she works at a family farm that do dairy products, soaps, and other things along those lines. Being working, currently serving on the Hoke Soil and Water Board, and goes to Redeemer Church in Pinehurst. Her 6 things that she wanted me to mention for as her reasons for running for commissioner and what she plans on doing as commissioner is fiscal responsibility, holding those that are in power to accountable for the spending. So we're talking about like these projects that are happening around here, ensuring that the tax dollars are spent appropriately, that will benefit the community itself, bring more jobs into this community, and bring more revenue into the community itself, so we have better schools and better programs for the youth in this county. Encouraging small business and beginning businesses to come to this area, so people aren't driving from Hoke County to Cumberland County or Moore County to spend their money, and they start spending it here in town. Dedicating areas to parks and outdoor activities for our families, places that our families can actually go and spend time and relax inside the county, again, without having to go outside our community to look for those activities. And then appointing the most qualified people to the positions instead of some of the nepotism that we've seen throughout the county. Some of the people, you're in positions because of who they know, not what they actually know. Perfect example, Sheriff, currently 3 years. Other one is to engage with the community itself and actually get out and interact with the community and understand stock of what the community is dealing with, what the gas prices are, what the issues are among the families, issues in the community. Well, that was it. So she'll be out for the other meetings.
Use it as an example.
I'm very happy and honored to introduce our next candidate for county commissioner, Chris Holland.
Christopher.
And Chris is currently, or let's say he, up until last night, was vice chairman of the party, and I'll tell you a little bit about that during the business meeting. And Chris?
All right. Thank you. I know most of y'all, some of you that I don't, so for those that don't know me, my name's Chris Holland. I'm running for county commissioner. This will be my second time back. I got 4th place out of 5 last time. Not too bad for a rookie, but we're going to do better this year. Just a little bit about myself. I joined the Army at 18. I grew up in a small town just like Hoke County in South Florida, driving a tractor, riding a horse, running cows. And so I know what small town life is like. And there's a reason why I'm in Hoke County, because 50 years ago, that town was just like Hoke County, and it's not a place you want to go back to today. So that's some of my desires, is to make sure that Hoke County doesn't end up like where I came from. But backtrack, I joined the Army at 18, did 15 years as a combat engineer, and then finished off 10 years as a military intelligence, retiring as an Army First Sergeant. Retired here at Fort Bragg, married my wife, we were young, kind of crazy, and we actually celebrate our 29th wedding anniversary next weekend.
All right.
In this godless society that we've become here in America, unfortunately, that in itself is a feat. I'm really proud that we've accomplished that. But you'll see my card on the table. My priorities are, first, a county level support for a public charter school. Amen. And everybody hears charter school and they go, oh, well, that's for those rich kids. No, a public charter school is paid for by tax-based money, just like a public school. Yep. So if your kid goes to the charter school, the $650 or the $1,200 that would go to Hoke County High or whichever school goes to that charter school to pay their way. So it's open up to everybody. We need to give parents choice in this county for their kids' education.
Amen.
All right? Second thing is, quit wasting our tax dollars on projects that don't bring sustainable economic activity to this county. All right? We have to create an environment. We know, like I said, it's a rural county, but it's growing. Fayetteville is going to swallow us up. And if we don't be careful, we're going to be the bedroom of Fayetteville. And that's all we're going to do. We're going to come home here in Hoke County and sleep, and we're going to have to go somewhere else for a job. We're going to have to go somewhere else to go to an anniversary dinner. And I don't want that. I want my kid to be able to grow up in a county where when he graduates high school, he gets a job downtown that provides a career. And then whenever it's time to go out on date night, he's got a place in Hoke County to go. Let's keep our tax dollars here. Let's keep our economic growth here in Hoke County. And we do that, and when we create that economic base, we can spread out the taxes being paid across a larger segment of the county residents, and then we can lower everybody's taxes. We get the same amount of money because more people are paying in. And so that's my goals. I ask for your vote in the primary. Johnny had hit on it. Look, we have an opportunity right now. We have very, very strong Republican candidates for county commissioner, and we can change the direction of this county. This county's going down a road that in the next 4, 5, 10 years, we're not going to be able to recover from. We're going to be in a society, a county that we don't want to live in, and we can change that. So we all ask for your votes. Support the Republican Party, or support the Republican ticket. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Now, I think I've hit all the candidates. Am I right here? There is one Republican candidate for, you'll see on the ballot, I think, who is not really running. His name is Isaac Holder, good man, retired, well, not, that's the problem. He's on active duty in the Army. He was set to retire this summer. In his thinking, that was okay, then he could run in November. However, that's in violation of the Hatch Act, which is a very, very serious violation. I don't think anything terrible is going to become of him in that violation. I think everyone will be pretty lenient on him. However, he is going to be on the ballot, and he is not going to run, if you will. So he will not be campaigning. So consequently, there are going to be 4 active candidates for county commissioner. 3 seats open, I remind you. There are also 5 Democrats running for those 3 seats. 3 of them are the incumbents, and I think you know that. My name is David Frump, and I am running for county commissioner. I think most of you in here know me. I retired from the Navy after 25 years of active service. My wife retired from the Navy after 22 years active service, both of us naval officers, She flew helicopters and I drove ships. It was great. She used to fly out to my ship and have dinner, as a matter of fact.
Oh, man.
But that was not a way, that was a training flight.
Yeah, okay. Pick up parts.
So, that's it. You got it. Some of the things that I want to do is first off, I want to come up with a contract with the people of Hoke County. And that, you may recognize that, that terminology, I think it was Newt Gingrich, back when Democrats controlled both the House and the Senate. He came up with a contract with America. I want to come up with a contract for Hoke County. Among those is prioritizing the county toward education. If you see, this is crazy. 4 years ago I ran for county commissioner, and I made a big deal out of the county commissioners wanting to build a pool instead of a school. So I coined it, so we have pools before schools. And here, 4.5 years later, that's exactly what we've got. Pools before schools, and we need schools. We've got to have schools. The majority of our schools are way out of date. The one near us is overcrowded. I'm living West Hoke. West Hoke Elementary is overcrowded, and it was built in 1949. Well, certainly it can be renovated, but that shows you the age of our infrastructure here, and no one in the county is planning ahead. They react. They do not plan. I have a master's degree in planning, and I can plan, I assure you. So I want to plan the county back to success. I want to establish business ambassadors, establish businesses in the county, go out throughout the country and lure business in here that they, outfits that they do business with, lure them here to the county. Those are just a couple of things, and I don't want to bore you to death where it's starting to run late. But those are just a couple of things I want to do. So you'll always hear me when we talk about that pool, you'll always hear me talk about the James A. Leach Aquatic Center. The James, a sitting commissioner. Okay, and that's all I'm going to say about it. It's pretty heady if you ask me.
Yeah, very heady.
All right, we're going to move on. Donna, we had Betty. Okay, Frank Crumpler. Frank Crumpler is right there. And Frank, for those of you who do not know this, Frank Crumpler was, or is, the longest serving elected official in the country. He has served 62 years continuously as the Hoke County coroner. And he is, he's sort of retired now. He's not the coroner anymore because, and the only way they could get him out is the state legislature eliminated the position of county coroner. Got you.
You got you, Frank.
So he's going to do something that is very near and dear to my heart. He is going to have a little auction here, a live auction. One of his businesses you don't want to get to very fast. But the other one, he's a licensed auctioneer, and